Hello, everybody. This is Kevin and Yeet here for you for another I Like series. This is going to be Disc from NeedLess. NeedLess is a pretty old manga slash show. I'm gonna do a read through of it soon because I watched the anime over and over when I was a kid, and I watch it now. It's really good. Apparently, the anime didn't end where the manga ended. Apparently, right after the anime ended, it was supposed to be a season two because there was a lot more chapters right after that, another arc, and the anime just never did it for some reason. I don't know if it was budget cuts or maybe it wasn't getting as many views as they wanted. Who knows? So I gotta do a read through of that. Anyway, we're doing discs today. Disc, that's we don't know her real name. That's what her name is. We found out about her from Terayama. He said there's this dude, obviously it's a girl. There's this dude at Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain is like her home base. Well, technically her home, that's where she stays. It's like this giant iron mountain, well, ironically, with all the information of almost all the world, and she stays there. And when we go to meet her, she controls like everything inside of it. At the push of a button, doors can close, emergency lockdown can happen. She can make all those old timey androids come out and fight you. That's a pretty good setup she got. Now she looks like a kid, but she's really like over 100 years old. And the reason she looks so young is because she modified her body to stay young with robotics. Now she said she is a android, like a cyborg. I'm not doubting that maybe she used to be, but I think by the time we meet her, she's fully robotic, basically, because we see like we see her arms like not disconnect but like open up, and it's all wiring and metal. We don't see any blood, any type of liquid. When she gets punched and stuff, there's a bit of blood coming out of her nose or her mouth, when she gets hurt, but she looks like she's fully robotic everywhere. That probably makes sense. Like she's been alive for like 100 years. Her ears come out. She puts like disk drives in her ears, and she has that visor that can go on the top of her head or go over her eyes. And she says she has a fragment called Scan. Honestly, as a kid and now, I always thought I think she's just lying. Maybe I mean I don't really see the reason to lie, but it basically just looks like when she uses her power to scan her fragment scan because she can like scan somebody, know their weight, measurements, their blood pressure, blah blah blah. They can I think she can know like what fragment you have too, or the basic um vicinity of it. Like maybe like as when she scans Toriyama, she can tell it's not specifically just fire, but sort of like heat based. I think she can do that. That's pretty interesting. Anyway, it just looks like all she's doing is putting down her visor and scanning you with the technology she has on her. It didn't really look like a fragment, but she says it's a fragment, so I mean, I guess let's believe her. I don't really see a reason to lie about having a fragment, so it's whatever. She gets along with everybody pretty well. She doesn't have really, she has two named attacks. I forget the names of them, but the first attack is when they first break into Arclight's mansion, or that mansion, his tower. They get caught by a bunch of guards working on duty, and so she unbuttons her jacket, and then like a ton of like machine guns just come out of nowhere and just blast them all away in like a Kamehameha beam. That was crazy. And even everybody was like, "Yo, that is wild." That could have been. It wasn't like she said she can only use it once a day. It was. I think it was more just like a gag thing since she's like a cyborg. She has all these weapons inside of her, but that would have been very useful in the fight in that room. 'Cause, yeah, most of the series takes place in that room. That would have been really useful in the fight in the room. The other technique is she disconnects her arms, her stomach, her legs, and I think yeah, her stomach, legs, arms, and a bunch of not tube needles come out and attacks to you. And she used that to heal. She said that's her kick. That's her med kick. Yeah, I'm saying that right. Anyway, she used that on Adam Blade, and she used that on Cruz. Adam, when he got that giant hole stuck in his chest, when it made sense for Adam because he had that giant hole in his chest when Eve turned out to be brainwashed, and that made sense for Adam because he had like organs and stuff, but he also had machinery in those organs too. So I was like, okay, it collects on to the machinery part and sort of like keep his heart going or like keep volts keep volts going. You know what I'm saying? They get like a text with a machine parts. But the thing that confused me was it was the part where Cruz, when he got slashed across the chest by his sister, she did that same technique to Cruz to keep him alive and stable. And she also like see well for strange to me, I was like, you should really update this after 100 years. So while he was having the flashback Cruz, he started fainting. So like in the ER where they rub those two things together and go clear. She has that. Disc has that, but she has to sock herself in order to do it, and it hurts her. So like, what? Why don't you just have things that just attacks and then do it? I don't know. That was really strange to me as a kid, and I was like, that's a good thing to have on standby. Just in case somebody's trying to faint, you jolt them. But why would you have it to where it hurts you too? That doesn't make any sense. And it didn't make any sense to me that those like needles are just going inside of I guess the hole that it wasn't a hole, it's like a slash that his sister did, but I don't know what that's really gonna do. She was pretty useful in the fight, and I think with like B room because she could scan. She was scanning everywhere to find that girl with the hologram. She couldn't really find her, but she could tell like she's in the room. There's no cameras in here. Like she scanned the whole room. There's no cameras, so there's no way she's watching it. She has to be in this room. It was Cruz the one that found out, where she was. There was this one. It was, I'm sorry. Every time I think of something, it makes me laugh. There was this one joke about, oh yeah, she only has two outfits throughout the whole show, or I guess three. This was like the profile picture I got, which is like a little gag. It was only two outfits. Her original outfit was her red, white, and blue. She had a buckle on like her upper area, and it looked all right, I guess. And her other outfit was when she left Iron Mountain to join Blade to go fight Arclight. It was that polka dot pink and white dress with the three puffs on the side, I mean the front. Anyway, there was this gag. Nah, it was this joke. She was like, I'm gonna join you guys to go take down Arclight. It would be a good experience. I haven't been out in years because even so, like, as soon as she gets out, she was like, wow, I haven't felt the sun in so long. She hasn't been out of the Iron Mountain in years. Anyway, she was like, before I can go, I gotta get all the information I can out of Iron Mountain that we might need and store it so we can go. And they were like, okay, so Blade, Cruz, the old guy, and Teriyama, they're waiting outside. And Cruz was like, she's gonna no, it was Cruz and the old guy. They were like, she said, no, Adam Blade was like, why is she taking so long? And the old guy and crew was like, well, she says she did need to get all the information she needed out of Iron Mountain. Teriyama was like, yo, Iron Mountain is huge. She's probably gonna have to have like this giant mech thing to carry all that information. Blade thought about like this giant mech that she could like walk in. She was like, okay, I'm ready. He's thinking about that. He was like, shoot, shoot, you kidding me, bro? That was pretty funny. I sipped Cruise and Disc for a while. I was like, wait, she is over 100 years old. That's when I switched it to Mio. I was like, Mio looks like a kid. Like she really is a kid. But she is 100 years old though. She looks light, but she's pretty heavy because when they were walking towards the Arclight layer, um, I don't know why. I guess she got tired somehow. She made Cruz give her a piggyback ride, and Cruz was like, "Yo, you're mad heavy." She was like, "Wow, you're just weak." I was like, well, I guess she could be mad heavy since she's basically all machinery, you know? She's like really all machinery, so I don't know. Oh, wait, I just thought about it. She can scan you and know what your fragment is instantly. Because the telekinesis girl that was Arclight's girlfriend, when she was threatening everybody to stay in the circle at the Arclight's mansion outside, she scanned her and she was like, oh, snap. She has the gravity fragment, and that's like super powerful. I don't know how we're gonna get past her. That was pretty neat. Back to she doesn't really have any fighting hand to hand abilities. Maybe she can scan your weak points, but hand to hand or anything like that, she cannot do. She can hack into anything pretty quickly, but because she hacked into Arclight's dog, not dog. It wasn't a dog. It was a I forget what they called. They called them those androids that could like ride around on those four legs, and they always kill needless. I forget why. I mean, yeah, there was a specific name for them in the show. I forget. I haven't seen Needless in so long, but she hacked into one of them so they can get inside, and it was pretty quickly. Uh, Yeah, hand to hand, she's not too good. She did try to. She didn't really try to fight the Speed Girl. I forget her name. It started with a T, I think. They went against each other for a second, but obviously she just smacked her away pretty easily. And she can't really tell multiple abilities, I guess, because he scanned Blade and she instantly knew that his quirk was the zero fragment quirk and what the diamond thing on his head was. And she already knew about the Atom Project. If she's been alive for almost 100 years, she was probably alive when the Atom Project and the Eve Project was going on because not Fujimoto, I was watching Blue Exorcist last night. The old guy that raised Blade and Eve, he was a part of that project when he was young, and he's pretty old now, but he ain't like I can't walk old. And she knew all about it, and she knew that he was one of the workers on it. So I was like, okay, she's older than him. She was probably alive. I don't think she helped. She didn't help them do the Eve or the Atom Project, but she was probably alive when it happened, and she knows a lot about it because she can hack into almost anything. So yeah, I mean, what was the point? I guess she. Wait, hold up. Sorry. Whoo. Sorry. Oh yeah, that's right. For multiple quirks. I mean, fragments. Anyway, she actually told about Adam's abilities in the Adam and Eve project. But then when they fought against the old guy's friend that survived the explosion all those years ago, he has the same type of diamond diamond fragment on his head, and I forget how he survived. Actually, the only thing that was covering the diamond on his head was just a really, it was just a few bandages. Yeah, it was just a couple bandages covering it. And his main fragment was fourth wave, how he like absorbed the cool, like he made something cold, he absorbed the heat from something too, and then he was able to just spit that back out. Like even though she scanned him, I'm pretty sure she did, she couldn't tell what he was doing. And he did have multiple fragments, just like Blade, but he didn't. He just used that one to keep up his facade. She couldn't tell that either. I mean, maybe those bands in the manga were something special because I'm pretty sure she could just scan right through those bandages and see the diamond. They call that specific name too, I forget, but scan the diamond and tell that he has multiple fragments, or just tell that he has the diamond on his head, and be like, whoa, yeah, the same thing as Blade. This is crazy. There was this other funny gag where I think it was Eve. Yeah, Eve called the speed girl on Arclight's team something. And I was like, what in the world is that? I think it was just a gag for the anime, but I saw a panel where they actually did it in the manga. And she called him she called her something. I forgot the name. But she was like, what you just call me? And then this girl Disc, like she just pops up with a whole clipboard and everything. She was like, well, what she called you is a side character that gets no screen time or whatever. Mainly just probably to put it in plain terms, you're just a side character in the background. You see here, and she was like playing at a blob. And I was like, what? Like this is like what in the world? This made no sense. And then Crew's sister did the same thing, but just to show like how her fire fragment is different from Teriyama's and how she's way more powerful and stuff. That was pretty funny. She never got knocked because the three made like all the fighters got knocked out at some point during the fight and they couldn't do nothing. She never got knocked out completely during the fight because I guess yeah, because she wasn't a fighter. She wasn't really in it, and they didn't really aim for her until she started healing Blade. And that was a real emotional, impactful scene where all of the fighters got completely knocked out. And I think Eve was knocked out too, or Eve was still on the side of, yeah, Eve was still mind controlled. And the only three people left, which was wild, the only three people left that were on Team Blade was Cruz, the old guy, and Disc. And they can't fight at all. And that's why I was saying, like, you have all your weapons inside of you. Why aren't you trying to fire? At least try to fire. But I think she was busy trying to heal Blade up to the point that he can do something because he still had that gaping hole in his chest. Anyway, they all made a plan, and what was it? What was it? Oh yeah, that's when she started electrocuting herself to jolt Blade's heart back. And they were really like in desperate needs. They were like, "What are we going to do? We know we can't fight. Even though I'm like Andrew, I know we can't fight. I can't do anything. What are we gonna do against these three guys?" And they're walking up to us all slow because they know they won. They just want to rub it in, and that was a downfall. If they would have just took him out quickly, she wasn't. She wouldn't be able to revive. Well, not revive, but jolt Blake's heart back and everything. When that one girl with the fan, I forgot her name too. I gotta rewatch this. When the one girl with the fan, she did that attack to where she made like everybody in this dreamland, and like this mist came up. Obviously Bliss was only. I mean, Disc was the only one that affected because she was an android. Well, I could see she could smell stuff and everything, but she wasn't affected by the mist. And they said because see, or this said, and they said, you're an android, you're not alive, you don't have nostrils. I guess you can't breathe or smell this stuff. But I was like, I could have sworn she smelled it before, and even before she was the one saying that everybody hurry up, cover your nose. Like she even covered her nose too, or her nose and her mouth. They're like, hurry up, everybody, cover your nose, cover your mouth. She's gonna do some attack, and that when you breathe it in, it affects you. But as she talked, and even this was like, oh no, like because the whole series, the girl with the fan never spoke. She already wrote something on a piece of paper, and people had to read it. And the first time she spoke, shook everybody. They were like, "Yo, she spoke! Oh no!" And because they took their hands off the mouth, and she was like, "Too late. You already breathed it in." And even this had her hand over her mouth, and even she was like, "Oh no!" But then in the next episode, she was like, "What's going on, everybody? How come I'm not affected?" And they were like, "Oh, because you're an android." I was like, she was scared to be infected, to think. So that means she can breathe. I mean, obviously she breathes and she has nostrils, but I don't know. That was a really weird scene. Like I didn't I understood it as a kid. I was like, oh yeah, she doesn't breathe. She's an android. But I was like, wait, no. Even though she's an android, well, I mean, even though she's a cyborg, basically, she still breathes. I'm pretty sure she still needs air. I don't I don't really see why not. Uh, I was gonna say she helped Eve put that device in her, like keep it in her, that have the soda drink inside of her all the time. But no, that was Eve. That was only Eve. She was a good strategist with Cruz because she jolted Cruz back, had him healing, and she was like, "Okay, Eve, now do this and do that to get what's it called? To get Cruz's heart jumped back up." And she was one of the main ones that came up with the plan at the. It wasn't the end of the series since I just found out that there's a whole nother arc in the manga. I don't know what she does in that. Hopefully something cool. I'm gonna do a read through that. I'm gonna do a read through of that on the channel. Oops, I hit my computer. Uh, anyway, at the end of the anime, when Arclight went crazy and he went like all black form, and oh yeah, she was able to like scan. That's another thing. She was able to scan under the ground and see a giant like brain thing that he was using to have a bunch of fragments in. Anyway, she came up with the plan to like use everybody's fragments together to fly up there and then to beat Arclight at the end of the show, which was really smart. After that, well, in the anime's ending, Crew said that Disc went back to Iron Mountain, and she does like miss everybody. She's like, because everybody went their separate ways after that, but I think she is gonna meet up with everybody sooner or later. Uh, yeah, because I read that the next arc in the manga, right after the Arclight building blew up after they defeated him, everybody got scattered around the black hole, and they had and Cruz and Mio teamed up to go find everybody. So I don't know. I mean, when I guess if you can survive. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't expect to yawn there. I guess the next arc is just trying to find everybody. I mean, that doesn't seem too boring. Okay. That doesn't seem too boring. That seems pretty good arc. Maybe I mean Disc will be able to help a lot, but I don't know. I don't know what happens to Disc or what she does. She's the main voice of reason in the group. Her, Cruz, and the old guy. Though they're like those three are like the trio of the smart people in the group, since they are like the voices of reason, and they're all the ones without powers. Well, I mean, she has a power, but it's not really combat useful, unless it's like Cruz you're going against. I don't know. Anyway, they're like the voice of reason in the group. They make the plans. They know exactly what to do. They know how to keep everybody calm and calculated. I was very surprised because she was like one of the main ones ready to get in there, like ready to get inside Arclight's tower, even though she doesn't have powers. This is crazy. I like her design actually. Like her hair. I don't think we ever seen it like see because he has two ponytails. I don't think we ever seen something to where her things like unhook and her all her hair flow, but she has a lot of hair. Her eyes are gold, which is pretty cool. I like that. And her hair is white. Well, on the wiki it said gray, but it's white slash silver, whatever. Her design is pretty cool. I wonder what she would look like if she was taller, like a Eve sort of formats. Well, I mean, what we got is cool. Like I said, I did ship her and Cruz. I was like, she's 100 plus, but I don't know if that matters or not because that's when I switched it to Mio. I was like, wait, Mio really is a little kid, and she just looks like one. I don't know, which was very strange. If she could just modify herself again and just make herself be able to just switch her hands into like a cannon or a gun, she could be really useful in combat. I think she even noticed. Oh yeah, boom! I just realized she's pretty smart. When Adam Arclight and Blade were fighting each other, and they made that big blast happen, and and they both lost their fragments for a moment. She was the one that figured out like she called it something, and like she knew exactly what happened. It wasn't like it took her a minute. She knew exactly what happened, and she was the one that made the most sense when they were fighting each other because Adam Arclight was more powerful on fragment uses. Like to use a fragment, like to use powers, he was the one more powerful in that department. But Blade is the most powerful in hand to hand combat and just raw strength. So yeah, she was the first one to deduce that, and I knew that like off the bat. I was like, okay, I could tell like Blade, he has more physical power than him, but Arclight has more power usage to him. You see, because when Blade made like a Vulcan Star condition, let's say it was like the size of a two-story house. That yeah, let's say that. But when Arclight did it, it was the size of like a mountain. like he made like the size of a mountain. And he had better control over the fragments too. He had to rely on that since his body was so weak. And she also noticed like his body, like I don't like it's surprising like she could pick up on all this stuff underground inside people's bodies, but she couldn't realize that the dude with the fourth wave that he had one of the diamond things that Blade had under his bandages on his forehead. And he never said like, yeah, this is a special type of bandage that could hide from almost any type of scanning or data proof or breaking unless I untie or whatever. It was just normal bandages. Yeah, just normal bandages. When she first met Blade, she called him a clone, and she knew instantly about the Adam project. She instantly knew that the old guy was a part of it. But Eve was there too, and she didn't say. Well, I think she did say the Adam and Eve project, but she was really gutting on Blade like that, like really making fun of him that he's a clone and stuff. But she didn't really say anything to Eve. Maybe she did in the manga, but I don't know. Her character was like all mean and snarky and stuff, and saying like mean stuff when she was first introduced. Later on, she was more childish, hopeful, grinny because obviously she hasn't been outside. Like that's another thing. Like she hasn't been outside in probably 3, 4 plus decades since she's been alive for 10. I mean, 10 years for 100 years. Like that's wild. But it was more cheery, joyful, want to see the world, ready to do anything she could for the team and her friends. I think the people she got along with the most was the core group was Adam, Cruz, and Blade. Wait, yeah, Adam Cruz. Oh, wait, I said Adam Cruz and Blade. I meant Adam Cruz. I meant Blade, Cruz, and Eve, and the old guy. She got along with the old guy pretty well. Well, I would those two were the smartest. If they ever make a game, I think Needless is on the jump, so I think it is. If they ever make a game, I would love to see I would love to see Disc in there. I really like this. Her character design, her attitude, her motive was just to like take down Arclight because she knows everything about the world. She knows like all the nukes went off, how he took over the blood. Like she knew like he was a real bad influence and a bad guy. So she wanted to take him down quick and easy. I mean, yeah, quick and easy. I don't think she knew anything about. I like she knew about the wars. She knew about the bombs and everything. I don't. Maybe she could figure out which bomb was it to create the fragments. But I mean, there's no point in telling anybody now because I think all those guys are dead, and yeah, all those guys that wanted to know from the other region, fourth wave guy killed them. And I guess there'd be no point because I think yeah, even she would know that making the bomb again wouldn't really bring any good. It would just bring more bad than good. So there's really no point in bringing it up. She wasn't in the first opening at all. In the second one, she was in it at the beginning when everybody's standing and looking at Arc Light smashing when you jump, and she was in it in the middle, sort of. She was in the ending a lot, and because when it was like a girl, like all the girls were in a band, and she was in that. There was like this special where Cruz infiltrated the girls' school to find out information about what's going on, and she was like a principal there. It was really weird. It's like four-part special. I was like, was this in the manga? Was this like a cover story just to be funny? Because this didn't really make any sense in the lore of the show. It really didn't make any like. And Cruz looking for his sister, and the sister was there, and I was like, I don't know. That was a really weird special. Now that I think about it, yeah, I did not understand that special at all. Uh, you know, if she got when she gets punched or whatever, obviously for anime and manga reasons, it's like blood coming out, but really there's no blood and it's all mechanical. You never seen her like take her arm off and put it back on. I guess she could do that, but I don't really see the reason. Those two like bracelets on her arm, like they're sort of like basically the visor bracelets on her arm. They didn't really do anything. I think they're just there for aesthetic. I mean, hey, that's fine or whatever. I mean, it looks pretty cool. His shoes are nice. It's just what he wears is really just one giant jacket. Yeah, basically one giant jacket. Yes, that's pretty funny. Yo, yeah, I'll say that for another video. I just thought it was something that's wild. Well, I just thought about it wild. We got like 2 3 more minutes, so let's get it. If Disc ever like disconnected her arms and stuff and like ejected into like let's say Adam Arclight, couldn't he like shut him down or something? Because he was mostly mechanical. He was barely any flesh because his body kept breaking down and it wasn't too good. She knew about everybody, I think, and she knew about the revolution. She didn't know about this her sister. I mean, Crew's sister being a traitor. She knew about the disc. Well, she scanned Cruz's necklace and she saw the chip was in there. She was like, "Crew, there's a chip in there with mad information on it." It's like she could tell like there's a bunch of information on the chip without even like without even like putting inside of a computer or something and like typing stuff in, and seeing whatever. She was a she was like a deep voice because the only way to like talk to Disc if you're like some outsider, they went into the sewers and found this like phone box, typed in some numbers, and she was like a really deep man's voice. She was like, "What do you want?" Oh yeah, I could tell you anything. She scared everybody to like Cruise, you're the last one. Blah blah blah. Come to Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain is like in the middle of the baddest spot of the black hole, and there's like a bunch of thugs and criminals there. But obviously, she got all those drones to go out and kill people, or I mean, to defend her. That's fine. They did note that those are old, like really old models, so they're able to beat them pretty easily. I guess after she went back to Iron Mountain, she could have upgraded all of them. Because I don't know, I don't see why not. Why you wouldn't want to upgrade everybody you had all the? Because she had a ton of drones. She had a ton of them, like at least 200 plus. And I mean, those the girl squad took them out pretty easily because they're old models. But if you upgrade them to the current model, boy, they'll be almost unstoppable. That'd be wild. Nearly unstoppable. So like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my Skylanders video. And yeah, bye. Always know this is the best. She might be, I wouldn't say best girl out of the whole show, but top three. Top three or top five. One of those two. I'm leaning to top three. Yeah. Wait. I just don't want to cut it off. And sometimes, every time I end the stream, like I tell you guys, I always think of something random. I'm like, hold up, oh, ain't no way. I really forget that. Oh yeah, her name. When I was looking it up, I in the show, and when you type it in like on the wiki and stuff, it's DISK disc. But I didn't. I seen something where they could spell it for C. Oh, like, does that make sense? But I was like, you know what? Nah, I would just keep using the SK version because that's what I've been using for all this time. She was really good at exposition. She got mad. She didn't get mad a lot. She was like, "Yeah, let's do this." This because she was. Boy, I don't know why I'm laughing. Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing. Uh, she was like, "Yeah, let's do this." Uh, she was like, "Yeah, I can do it, no problem." Oh yeah, I don't. I went. I think Adam was like simping, like not simping. He was like swooning over her, and Cruz was carrying her. This is another funny moment. And I forget how he brought up, but he was like, "Yo, you weigh a ton. Aren't you supposed to be a little girl?" So like, yeah, I basically am, but I'm over 100 years old. And Blake was like, "Oh man, I just thought about that." That was pretty funny. I think she does eat and drink, but I don't think she needs to. But she can, if she wants to. But I really don't think she needs to. Maybe she does. I don't know because some androids they need to eat, just like people too. It doesn't matter if they get like all the mechanical stuff inside of them. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh yeah, and she called the dog that. Sorry, she called the dog Poochie. The dog when they hacked, and I keep saying dog when they hacked into that robot, it grew a tail and it was acting like a dog, and she was like, "Okay, Poochie, let's go." Anything else funny? When they all dressed up in those costumes to hide them, to disguise themselves, she was like a wicked witch of the West. But then when they took off the ridiculous ones like those, she just wore like a hoodie or whatever. It didn't really matter. And she was one of the ones that was like, we have to stay strong. We can't blow our cover, even though Adam Arclight is like torturing people.